in this video, bro, talking about basically he had an experience with music. Basically, I'm gonna go into basically the spirituality of music, right? Real spiritual. Real spiritual.
All right, peace of the family, peace of the tribe. This is your brother Yusef, also known as Chief Nawadi Awi, and I'm back with another video. Okay, family, you guys see the title of this video. You guys see what this is. This may go on YouTube, just to let my Patreon members know. So you may see this on YouTube also.
Just so you know, this nigga.
But I just have to share this experience. The secret.
So like, this is one thing when I was saying was, bro, it's like, this is like, I consider one of my teachers because he just tapped in, bro. He like, I'm really trying to learn from this nigga. He's tapped in. But this is a small example because this story's gonna sound like just a normal dream. But what he's saying, it's not a normal dream, bro. And then again, keep in mind, a lot of people don't even have dreams. A lot of people just straight blackness, no dreams whatsoever. This man has full control of his dreams, full astral travel abilities. I know people with that ability, or with strong dream recollection. So it's like, I know they know exactly where they're at on the astral plane, but they might not control necessarily where they're going type shit. I know some people that do that type shit. Everybody had their own powers. Everybody had different levels. With practice, you get better type shit. I'm trying to get like this. Like,
one of the best ways to grow your consciousness is some ways in the correct way.
Top tier.
And you know, through the growth of my consciousness, I've had the opportunity to meet gods, demons, angels, jinn, fairies,
what you know about them?
I mean, you name it, right? But I've met a specific entity last night that was life-changing because it really opened my mind up to a lot of things once I had this experience, right? So let me tell y'all what happened. So pretty much, family, I'm sleeping, of course, and I open my eyes and I'm fully conscious, I'm fully awake. But I noticed that I'm more awake than normal in this dream. And what I mean by that is my consciousness is expanded to the point where I'm totally aware of everything that's going on around me all at the same time. Not only am I aware of it, but I'm aware of its true essence, if that makes sense. So this video is gonna be hard to explain, but I'm gonna try my best, right? And if you don't have an expanded consciousness, it's hard to understand. So down here, the best way to describe that would be a person who can see spirits, and everybody else in the world can't. They can only see spirits because their consciousness is more expanded, so they can see what's really going on around them on a deeper level, right?
This is what I was
or a person could see auras, so they don't just look at a human when they see them. They see the human and they see the aura, right? But I'm gonna try my best to explain my consciousness in this dream because it was just really deep, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm dressed like I'm going to a neo soul concert, right? And I'm like, wow, look at these clothes I got on, and I took it in. I love to take it all in when I'm in these experiences because it feels so real, and it is real, right? So I got this like what seems to be a leather jacket on, right? I got these beads around my neck, like look like wooden beads. I got this sweater on, so I'm sitting there, I'm chilling, I'm vibing, and I hear this music. And I remember, I'm immediately, as soon as I heard it, I started nodding my head. And the place that I was in, I don't want to call it a bar, I don't want to call it a club, but it was something I never experienced before. It was like it's hard to explain because the geometric shapes of the couches, the way that people were seated, it was just something I never saw before. But it all was a perfect vibe. It all just fit.
Different dimension for real.
But I'm sitting at this table that kind of feel like a bar, right? And I don't like bars. I don't hang out in bars, right? But the vibe was just so dope. And so this table that kind of seemed like a bar, I'm sitting there and I got this drink in my hand. It's about a cup about this big, and I'm holding this glass. And inside the glass is like a lime green liquid, and it looked like it had stars and sparkles and stuff inside. I'm looking at it, I'm listening to the music, and I can't help shaking my head. I'm listening to the music. This sounded like, the music sounded like the most soulful music you ever heard, like neo soul times 100. It was the most powerful, incredible thing I ever heard, right?
Now let me let y'all know one thing. I understand what he means because your senses in the astral plane. I know it's from experience, because like just when in your dreams, period. Because your dreams is the astral plane. Which I know that is real shit going on. That's not a fake. None of that shit is fake. But some shit might be masked. That's what I'm coming to learn. Some shit might be masked, so it might not appear as what it seems. Just like this world, but like the astral plane, bro. The shit that you will experience. Bro, I know you already have had these experiences. For those who's seen this and know, but shit is just a lot better, bro. It just feels better, bro.
I'm like, oh my god, this is dope. And the way I feel, I'm taking everything in. So I'm listening to the music and I'm totally aware of the music. And then I'm aware of and I focused on the cup. And I'm noticing that the cup I got in my hand, I'm not just focused on a cup, but I'm aware of what makes the cup. If that makes sense. I'm aware totally of what makes this cup.
Bro, he said he's aware of what makes the cup a cup. Bro, that's like looking at someone and knowing that's really them in the real world. That's what I'm like trying to symbolize it as. Like how I was just saying, shit might be an illusion. Like, you know this person, you know that's what they look like, you know that's that motherfucker, you know that who that is. But that's what he's saying. But in your dreams, most of the time, you might see it, but you're like, you might not be conscious of like what's really going on. You might just be playing out a scenario. Might subconsciously know what's going on, but you might not really forget it or just plop down type shit.
I'm totally aware of it. I'm totally aware of the music behind me. I'm totally aware of the people that's sitting in there. My conscience was expanded. So it's like my senses was dialed up, but I had other senses. It was crazy. It's like I was experiencing everything at the same time. It was incredible. So I'm just enjoying myself. I'm sitting there and I'm sitting in this comfortable ass chair. I don't know. I never looked back at the chair to see what I was sitting in, because within maybe a minute of sitting there and looking around and watching people smiling, I couldn't help myself. I started getting up and I started, moving to the music. I started dancing, right? I started dancing. I was like, man, how can y'all just sit there? This music is incredible. So I'm looking at the band, right? But I was aware of the music that the band was making, if that makes sense. So I'm aware of the band and the members playing it. By the way, they had instruments that I never saw in my life. I've never seen these type of instruments before in my life.
No, different dimensions.
So I'm aware of the band, but I'm also aware of the music. So I'm not just vibing to the music or feeling it. I'm 100% aware of the music, to the point where while this band is on this, what looked like a glass stage, it looked like they was floating in the air, but it was like the closer you got to it, it looked like a transparent stage. And it was like maybe 3 feet off the ground, but it was so dope, right? And I'm sitting there and they playing the music. So this is the good part. So what happens is I'm vibing and I can't help myself. I'm dancing, like it's like the music is making me dance. So I can't help myself. This music was so, I never heard music like that, to the point, y'all know what I mean. Y'all hear music to the point where you gotta dance, like this is my song, that's how I felt. But I felt like that times 100.
I'm trying to think of a song that made me feel like this. When I first made I Fell From Heaven, bro, this is how I felt. It's like but nah. But I'm trying to think of a song that made me feel like this. Michael Jackson, not remember the time of the thing, but Liberian Girl, that song, the top tier, bro. That's a top 10 song of all time in my book, bro. That shit is amazing. He was going crazy. So, but that's how it made me feel, though. Like, just like you just saw me breaking out singing type shit. It's like it's the same time I felt, man.
I couldn't help. Like, I got up and I started dancing, but I'm dancing like I'm kind of like swaying, right? I'm swaying to the music, And all of a sudden, while the musicians were playing the music, the vibrations of the music started to form this entity out of the fabric of the room. I don't want to say the fabric of the universe, but the reality that I was in started to warp, and it started to form the image of this person. And it looked like a female, but I couldn't tell. Could have.
All right. Now here we're gonna start breaking this shit down. He said the reality he was in warped into a female. Immediately, what that tells me, he's finna say it's an entity. Spoiler alert, my niggas. Okay, but my nigga, it's basically saying the feminine energy, basically, because you have masculine, feminine. Masculine is logic, facts, hard nose information. Y'all know this physical world, that's the masculine. The feminine is the feelings, the intuition, the spirit. That's what the feminine. These are code words, and these all things are kind of like the same, energetically. Type shit. You got the feminine represented by the moon. Then you had the masculine represented by the sun. I got a lot of songs about the sun, but I didn't know about this moon shit until recently. But see, I've been tapping in. I've been tapping in recently. But this moon shit is really the moon, because the moon and everything, that's the right brain. On here it says left. Oh, right here it looks to y'all like left, but the right brain. You have your left brain is which we're under. That's what we're predicated under. That's what we go to. That's like your conscious brain. That's the talking in your fucking ear all day, but you need to silence that. You go with your right brain. But it takes practice. We'll get there, bro. We'll get there.
A bit of man or female, but they dancing just like me, right? They're vibing, and everybody looking at me, clapping their hands, and vibing with it. Because like when I stood up and started dancing, everybody started looking at me first. They were smiling, and then they started like kind of moving in their seat. Before they were just nodding their head, and it was almost like, well, I'll get to that part, but they dancing with me, and all of a sudden when this thing appeared, it's like everybody started focusing on me more, and it came out of this thing. It's like it came out of the vibrations of what the musicians were playing. This thing formed itself, and it's dancing with me, and I had this weird vibe with this thing. Like I started vibing with this entity that came out of this vibration of the music. I started vibing with this entity, and we dancing, and they started dancing like me. I'm having a moment with this thing. Like I was having a time of my life, and people start standing up around me and start like clapping and dancing with me. And I'm like, wow, why is everybody focused on me now? But hey, it is what it is. You gotta dance to this, right? All of a sudden, the entity was dancing with me, and it came up closer and touched my face, like. And when it touched my face, y'all, I knew at that moment this entity was music itself. So what I'm telling y'all is, last night I had an experience where I met music itself. I met the entity, music itself. Okay, and when it touched my face, I kind of did like this. I lost my breath for a second, because I realized, like when it touched me, I had a realization of not just the music, but everything that music was. When it touched me, I had a realization, right? And when it touched my face, I said, oh my God, this is music. Now, when it touched me, I woke up like 2 seconds later, because it was just an extreme experience, right? When it touched me. But when I woke up, I realized I just met music itself, because I knew it as soon as it touched me. It's like, this is music. And so the entity that is music in our universe touched me, and when it touched me, I realized that everything is music. So art itself, art is music.
We're about to get into it, my nigga. We're about to get into it. This is what music is for real, my nigga. Whole new perspective.
So a painting, like that painting behind me, that's music right there. And I never realized it this deep until music touched me. But when you make a painting, you're putting the vibrations of music onto a surface, right? That's what you're doing when you paint.
Let me explain this further. When he says the vibrations of music onto a surface, first off, we all know like a lot of artists, they listen to music while they paint. That's one interpretation. But you're literally putting light frequencies, because everything around you see is light frequencies you're seeing. What you see is the past. It's a time delay. It's a time delay from what you see before it hits your retina type shit. It's a whole delay. So in that, you're literally painting, you're writing frequencies of light. That's why the power of word is so powerful, especially written word, written law. It's so powerful. See what I'm saying? This is next level shit, my nigga.
Poetry is music. Everything is music. It is a very powerful entity. And it was like being in the physical realm when Michael Jackson touched your face. But it was like that times 100, to the point where it popped me out of the drink.
Mike.
So I realized that when the people were dancing,
I got a video to show y'all about Mike that's gonna have y'all like, what?
dancing with me and clapping, it was almost like an innocent thing, like a little baby or little child when they had a party and all the adults started looking at the baby dance. Like, go ahead, little baby, dance. When that's how it was. But they was looking at me like an innocent person that had no clue what was going on. Like, these people knew that music lives here, right? But I didn't know. And here I am in this place. I don't want to call it a bar or a club. It was something else. It was the environment was different, but it suited it perfectly. I can't even explain. It's like something that hasn't been created yet. I don't know what to call this place. A social place. It was amazing, right?
He was in Ace's lounge. He was hearing that Messianic rock. Guaranteed. He was hearing that Messianic rock for the first time.
And I met music, and the people were looking at me like a little child, almost like when a little child is dancing at a party and everybody turn around because the child is innocent. The child don't know. The child just dances because the child and the people think it's cute.
That's very spiritual. Inner child. Your inner child is inner child work. My spiritualists know about this. The inner child work, my niggas. Y'all know. The innocence inside of you, man. Y'all know about this. The key to be innocent, man. That's real spirituality, man. Being like a child. There's nothing more child than spirit. There's nothing more child. Oh my God, I'm all over the place. This Mercury retrograde is something crazy. There's nothing more spiritual than like youth, childhood.
Because the little baby's dancing. That's kind of how they was treating me. I didn't know it at the time, but I realized it later.
For justice.
They was treating me like a person that had a low level consciousness, but all of a sudden my consciousness was realized and I was vibing with something that I didn't fully understand yet, but I couldn't help myself. And that's what made me innocent to them. I just went with the flow. And I went with the flow so much until music itself was impressed by me. And music was, and I realized now when music was dancing with me, when the entity music was actually dancing with me.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to say. The flow, water, waves, vibrations. That's the whole point I was trying to say. The frequencies are waves, vibrations. The vibrations are waves. Yeah, science, man. This is like 8th grade science, bro. Middle school science, bro.
It was dancing with me like I was a little child. Like you would do a little baby, like, go ahead, little baby, That's how it was. It's like music was beautiful. Like I didn't see an actual physical essence of this thing, but the energy and the spirit of music is beautiful. Like it treated me like a precious thing, but I didn't know it at the time. I'm thinking I'm dancing with something that I'm vibing with, and I don't understand why I'm vibing so much with this thing, and it's looking at me like a little child. Like, oh, this person's just a little child. I'ma dance with them. That's kind of how it was. It's like the grandma at a party. The grandma came out and grandma started dancing with the little baby.
That's crazy. Because we see this. This is a grown ass man. We see, and I'm telling y'all, this nigga's evolved. This means, bro, where I'm at, oh nigga, I'm nowhere, man. Oh nigga, I'm definitely my nigga Bisu in the building. My nigga Bisu in the building. Real legend, man. Real spiritual for real, bro. Real spiritual. But what was I saying? Yeah, it's like I'm like a prepubescent, my nigga, in terms of this shit type.
Kind of how it was.
Because nigga, it's a lot, bro.
Right, but everybody looking at the little baby dancing and clapping. That's how it treated me, and these people treated me. It was a beautiful experience, man. So now I know, I understand Oversoul, right? So what I'm really telling y'all is that I met the Oversoul of music. I met what music is. It formed itself and it experienced itself with me. I danced with music, and I couldn't help myself, y'all. I listened to music that was so good until, even if you a stiff person and you don't like to dance, this type of music gonna make you dance whether you like it or not.
Bro, he was listening to that.
It was the most incredible music I've ever heard in my life. It cannot be generated down here.
I'm sorry.
Once I came back to reality, I realized, excuse my terminology, excuse my language for this one, but we are retarded down here.
True shit, bro.
Our senses is so low. It's like turn on all your senses up to 100, and then all of a sudden you lose your sight, your smell, your taste, your vision, your sense of feel. You lose it all. It's like you lose everything when you come back to reality. My senses were so heightened there. I was aware of the music. I was aware of the people. I was aware of the cup in my hand. And that really puzzled me. I was like, I can't believe I'm aware of what makes a glass a glass. I can't even explain that. But I was aware of it at that moment. And I was aware of everything around me. So I wanted to come on here and share that experience with you guys, because I met music in my dreams last night, or in another reality. I have no clue what plane of existence I was on. I have no clue what reality I was in, but I met music, and it was to this day, it's going to be considered one of the top three, top five, I'll say.
He was in
Man, I might say top three experiences I ever experienced in my life. It was that incredible. And I'm not even a person that is a musician like that. I played keyboard and stuff when I was young in church, but that's not my passion. So I want to encourage and tell you guys that do love music. Music is real. And now it got me thinking about creating new products to connect with this entity, music. I'm still trying to go back and experience that. You can pray to music, y'all. Prayer means
makes you think. What are these niggas doing with their beats? Put them in frequencies. Oh my gosh. Me and Bisu been healing these niggas for the past 3 years. Oh. Nobody thinks about this, bro. Nobody thinks about this, bro. This is healing work, bro. This is healing work, bro. When you listen to the beats, it's healing you, my nigga. I know you're gonna keep re-listening to the beats because you just like how it sounds. You don't even know that it's healing you on a subconscious level. But that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, who is really, what's different, bro? What makes you stand out, man? Are you just making regular beats, man? What are you doing with your beats? This is my producer homies I'm talking to now. What are you really listening to? I want y'all to listen to the music. I want y'all to start. This is what niggas be saying about the rhythm music. It's so powerful because you listen to some negative shit all day, some bullshit that's not feeding your brain nothing positive subconsciously. You yourself is gonna become toxic just like the music. You're gonna become just like the music. Playboy's Cardi's first project, I've lived 80% of that project. I lived 80% of that project. Cause I lived it so much, bro. I was in so deep, bro. In the Matrix. I was in the Matrix, something crazy. But most of us been like that, bro. Most of us came up like that. A lot of us did. I shouldn't say most, but I should say a lot. That's a good way to put it. With the music, bro, this is a power. We need to really like tap in and like go crazy with this. We do some crazy shit with this. My nigga Craig is making songs with mantras. He's going crazy. Hard. Real mantras. Just actually gonna heal you. Mantras at work. Wama de sa say so, huh? Classic, bro. It works, bro.
It don't mean to worship. It means to request things. So you can request things from music itself. Music is a real entity.
Hold on, what it is?
Prayer means request. It don't mean to worship.
Okay.
It means to request things. So you can request things from music itself. Music is a real entity. I kind of always knew that, but now I know that I know. I had an experience, y'all. To really know means you had an experience. I had an experience with music. I just wanted to come on here and share that with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Real legend, bro.
Story,
legend, bro.
And the experience I had.
Shout out, bro, Yusef. Thank you, bro, Yusef, for coming through with this knowledge, bro. Because he did not have to share his dream like that, bro. He had to share the knowledge. He had to share knowledge. It's very enlightening, but it brings new perspectives, man.
Acito.